Hi everyone. Let's just give some people a few more minutes. I'm gonna start in like 3 more minutes so people could join my live. I hope everyone's okay. Hey Candice. Hey, thanks for joining. All right, 3 more minutes. We're gonna get started. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are too. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today, Kfolio will be informing you how to buy real estate in the Dominican Republic. Your international property awaits. This is a copyright notice. All rights is reserved to Clayfolio LLC. About me. Now I'm going to share my background with you all. My name is Shanice Montavo. I am a certified international sales agent. I am the owner of Clayfolio. I'm your go-to certified international sales agent here to help you explore the exciting world of global real estate, whether you're a rental property owner looking to expand your horizons, whether you're looking about relocating. I'm here to guide you, and every step of the way. I specialize in helping buyers identify and purchase rental properties that align with their goals. Let's turn the key to your international property together. Now, how I became an international sales agent. My journey started in real estate in November 2016. I was a housing specialist where I worked directly with individuals and families transitioning from shelter into permanent housing. In this role, I gained hands-on experience navigating housing programs, eligibility requirements, and the real-life challenges people face when securing stable housing. In the summer 2017, driven by my passion for helping people find not just housing, but the right home, I decided to pursue my real estate license and became a licensed agent in December 2017. As an agent, I assisted finding a home, guiding them through the process with care, transparency, and a strong understanding of the housing market. For the past 4 years, I have worked as a senior case handling paralegal with Housing Court, where I've developed deep knowledge of landlord tenant law, housing regulations, and legal procedures. This experience allows me to approach real estate transactions with a unique legal perspective, anticipating issues, protecting clients' interests, and ensuring transactions are handled correctly and professionally. Together, my background in housing services, real estate sales, and housing court law gives me a well rounded client focused approach and rooted in both compassion and expertise. Now, Clayfolio's core values is rooted in integrity and client focused values. Our approach combines expertise, empathy, and continuous learning to provide exceptional real estate experiences that exceed expectations. Your success is not just a goal, but a commitment. Now, we're looking at the difference between working with an international sales agent versus a local real estate agent when purchasing property abroad. First, an international sales agent who works with U.S. buyers understands the needs, expectations, and cultural differences that American clients may have. This can make the process much smoother because they can help bridge the gap between the United States practices and the local real estate system. Second, international agents usually have trusted network of professionals such as attorneys, escrow agents, and other experts. This helps protect buyers and ensures They're working with legitimate professionals throughout the process. Another important factor is language and communication. Being fluent in English and familiar with U.S. real estate terminology helps reduce confusion and makes complex real estate concepts easier for buyers to understand. Lastly, many buyers feel greater sense of trust and comfort than working with someone who understands their concerns and can guide them step by step through an international purchase. Overall, working with an international sales agent can make the experience more transparent, secure, and easier for U.S. buyers purchasing property abroad. Now, we're getting into the market. Invest in Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic isn't just a vacation destination. It's one of the most compelling investments opportunities in the Western Hemisphere right now. Let me show you why. First, look at the scale of demand. The Dominican Republic has positioned itself as a global hub for living and investing, drawing between 51 and 63% of all international tourists in every single year. That consistent inflow is what's fueling real economic expansion. And that growth is real and sustained, not a blip. We're talking record breaking tourism numbers, a rapidly expanding infrastructure, and rising foreign investment. The Dominican Republic consistently ranks as one of the fast growing economies in all of the Caribbean and Latin America that's not marketing that's data. Finally, accessibility. One of the Caribbean's busiest international airports, nonstop flights from major global cities, modern highway networks connecting the entire country for investors, tourists, and business travelers alike. The Dominican Republic is easy to get to and easy to operate in. So the question isn't whether to consider Dominican Republic, it's which property benefits you. Okay, so now let's talk about where these opportunities are. We're focusing on three distinct developments across the Dominican Republic, each one different in character, but all sharing the same fundamentals: strong location, high demand, and serious upside. First is the First is Coral Golf Resort, which is the top left image. This is a high-end multi-family residential complex built around an 18-hole course. We're talking lots and flats in a resort-style setting, the kind of property that attracts both lifestyle buyers and income-seeking investors. The second is Bravado, which is the bottom left image. This is the Dominican Republic's Coconut Coast, one of the most tourist-driven, high-traffic corridors in the entire Caribbean. If you want energy, foot traffic, and rental demand, this is your market. Now, on the bottom right, Las Galletas. For those who want something more exclusive, this is a tropical fishing village on the eastern tip of the Samana Peninsula in the northeast. It's scenic, it's unspoiled, and it represents exactly the kind of early mover opportunity that sophisticated investors look for. Now let's move into the developments. I'll be sharing three today. The first development I'll be sharing with you is Moon Garden, one of the most complete lifestyle offerings in all of Punta Cana. Moon Garden sits inside a Coral Golf Resort right alongside a breathtaking central lake and an 18-hole golf course. You're not near the amenities, you're surrounded by them. That lake spans 48,000 square meters. We're talking about kayaking, paddleboarding, and waterfront walks, a resort experience that owners get to call home. Owners also get professional access to Pearl Beach Club, that's significant perk. Add in the clubhouse, lake club, sports areas, shopping and restaurants. This community is entirely self-contained. This isn't just a property purchase, it's buying into a lifestyle and a resort infrastructure that makes it incredibly attractive for long-term rentals when you're not using it. Okay, let me walk you through what Moon Garden actually offers because the details here are set it apart. There are 197 residents in total, one, two, and three bedrooms, and right now around 62 listings are available. Every single unit has views of both the lake and the golf course. That's not premium upgrade, that's the standard. Every owner gets it. The project was designed by more for Spanish architecture. In terms of amenities, you have everything you'd expect from five-star resort gym, spa, restaurants, a sports bar, plus an open air gymnasium, children's pool, pet park, La Carolina as a community centerpiece, a pedestrian promenade, and parking. It's all there. Prices start at $275,000, and each developer has their own payment plan, so there's flexibility depending on what works best for you. What you're really buying here is a resort lifestyle at a residential price point, with added benefit of a strong rental demand in one of the Caribbean's most visited destinations. Next, now we're shifting gears both in location and in lifestyle. The second development is Azul. Azul sits in a completely different pocket of the Dominican Republic. We're going to Las Galletas in the Semana region, about 4 hours from Punta Cana. This is the northeast coast, and it could not feel more different. Think about white beaches, lush landscapes, and a pace of life that feels generally removed from the everyday. What makes Samana particularly interesting right now is the trajectory tourism here is growing, and is growing with a specific type of traveler. This is people seeking something like boutique, something natural, something that hasn't been overdeveloped yet. Azul is positioned right at the intersection, natural beauty, rising demand, and still early enough to get in that right price. Let me show you what the development looks like. Azul offers two distinct living options: condos and duplex penthouses. So there's an entry point for different types of buyers and investors. The amenities, the community features, the pool and cabanas for shared resort lifestyle living, and the select units come with private pools, a major draw for both personal use and high-end short-term rentals. Let me walk you through how these residences are configured. The ground floor gives you a living room, dining room, and two bedrooms. The first floor features a living room, full kitchen, and two bedrooms. The second floor, reserved for the penthouse level, has kitchen, bedroom, sitting area, and living room. It's generally spacious, multi-level living experience. These aren't small units. Here, surrounding growth that what elevates the investment case for Azul, a new cruise port is currently under development in this area. That's not a rumor, that's infrastructure. And infrastructure drives value. On top of this, Samana is already internationally recognized for whale watching, which draws a specific high spending tourism market every season. Condos are starting at 300,000 and duplex penthouses are starting at 750,000. As with our other developments, each developer has its own payment plan, so we can find structure that fits your goals. Between the cruise port coming online, the growing tourism profile, and the natural beauty of Samana, Azul represents the kind of opportunity where you're not just buying a property, you're buying ahead the curve. All right, our third development brings us back to the energy of Punta Cana, and this one is for buyers who want to be right in the middle of it all. Secret Garden is situated in the heart of Bravado, one of the most vibrant tourism driven neighborhoods in the entire Dominican Republic. And when I say steps from the beach, I mean it literally. This is close to the water as it gets. Location and real estate is everything, and Bravado delivers on every front. You have the beach, the restaurants, the nightlife, the foot traffic. This is the kind of address that never struggles for rental demand because it's exactly where visitors want to be. Secret Garden gives you the full Punta Cana experience, not just proximity to it. Let me show you what's inside the development. The development Secret Garden is fully gated, closed community, which means privacy, security, and curated living environment from the moment you arrive. This substantial project built on a 50,000 square meter plot. Secret Garden offers 327 units in total across several distinct product types: 19 duplex units, 64 studios, 278 condos in one, two, and three bedrooms configurations. There are also dedicated areas for family homes, villas, plus a commercial zone built right into the community. In terms of lifestyle, this development holds nothing back. Residents have access to a gym, co-working space, beach volleyball court, restaurants, pool bar, mini golf, children's playground, expansive garden areas, and the centerpiece of it all is a 1,800 square meter swimming pool. That's not a pool, that's a destination. The investment case, what makes Secret Garden particularly compelling, is its dual appeal. It works equally residents and as vacation rental investment. You're in the heart of Bravado. Steps from the beach in one of the Caribbean's highest occupancy here is not a question. Whether your buyer is looking for a personal retreat or a performing asset, Secret Garden checks both boxes, and with the range of unit types available, there's truly something here every profile. Now the process. We're going to discuss the Dominican buying process, and the first step is proof of funds. Here we determine the sorry. All right. So the very first step in the Dominican Republic is buy process is what we call proof of funds. And this is where everything begins. Before we can start looking at the property seriously, we need to understand what you can actually afford. This isn't about limiting your genes, it's about setting you up for success so that when you find the right property, you're ready to move. the first thing we're going to do together is determine your budget. That means looking at your income, your expenses, and any existing debts. We want a full, honest picture of your financial situation, not just what comes in, but what goes every month. And here's something a lot of buyers don't think about upfront. Your budget isn't just the purchase price or the monthly mortgage payment. We also have to factor in property taxes and maintenance costs. That adds up. And we want to make sure you're comfortable with full picture, not just the headline number. So the key message here is be realistic, do your research. The more honest you are at this stage, the smoother everything else will be. Once we know your budget, we move into acquiring your financing, and this really what gives you your buying power. Getting your finances in order early gives you a clear idea of what exactly how much you can afford, and it makes the entire home buying process significantly smoother. Sellers, so to recap, know your numbers, be honest about your budget, and get your financing lined up early. This foundation is what everything else is built on. Now we're moving to the second step. Okay, so now step 2 is one that surprises a lot of people, especially buyers come from the United States, Canada, Europe, where purchasing property as a foreigner can involve a lot of red tape. The step is called obtain permit approval. And here's the good news. In Dominican Republic, you do not need a permit. That's right. As a foreigner, you do not need a special permit to purchase property here. This is actually one of the biggest advantages of investing in the Dominican Republic, and it's something I love sharing with clients because it immediately moves a major barrier that people assume exists. The reason for this is rooted in the country's constitution and laws, which grant foreign investors the same property rights as Dominican citizens. You are treated equally under the law. There's no second-class status for foreign buyers here. So what this means for you as a buyer, it means one less hurdle, one less document, and one less wait time. You can move through the buying process with confidence, knowing that your right as a property owner are fully protected by Dominican law, the same protection as local citizens will have. No special approvals, no government permits, applications. Now, while you don't need a permit, there are still important legal steps involved in the purchases process. And that's why you have the right team around you that matters. Now, let's move on to step 3. So we talked about your finances. We cleared up the permit question. Now comes one of the most important steps in the entire process, building your team. This is why a lot of buyers make mistakes. They try to navigate the purchase to alone or rely on the wrong people. Step 3 is all about making sure you have the right professionals in your corner before you go any further. At this stage, you want to start gathering the key people who guide you through the legal and logistical side of the transaction. Besides having an international sales agent as a good attorney is essential. They will review contracts, verify titles, conduct due diligence on the property, and make sure your investment is fully protected under Dominican law. Remember, buying property is a team sport. The right attorney, the right agent, the right network, these are what separate a smooth transaction from a stressful one. We're here to help you build that team. Let's keep going. Step 4 is next. Okay, and now we get to the fun part. Step 4, selecting your property. You got your finances sorted, and now you don't need a permit, and you got your team in place. Now it's time to actually choose the property you want to purchase. Let me walk you through exactly how this works. So first thing to know, all of our properties we work with are new construction. These are modern, brand new developments, not resales, not fixer-uppers. You're buying into something that is being built today that is being built today's standards in some of the most desirable locations in Dominican Republic. What you're looking at on this slide gives you a feel for the caliber of developments we're talking about. Resort style living, thoughtful design, and real investment potential. Once you find the property you want, the next step is to secure it with a reservation fee of $5,000. This fee does 2 things. It takes the property off the market, and it holds exclusively for 30 days, giving you time to finalize your finances and get your legal paperwork in order. Now, I want to be very clear. Something important. This $5,000 reservation fee is non-refundable. So before you put down that reservation fee, you want to be confident in your decision. That's why we go through all of the steps first. By the time you're selecting your property, you should already know your budget, have your financing direction, and have your attorney lined up. You're not guessing at this point, you're committing. After reservation, you move into the payment structure. And here's something great about buying new construction in the Dominican Republic. Every development has its own payment plan. If you opt into a payment plan, payments are structured and due every 30 days. This makes it manageable, predictable, and you know exactly what's coming and when. However, and this is critical, I need you to hear this clearly. If you haven't listened to anything else in this presentation, understand that all monies paid are non-refundable. This is standard practice here and is different from what buyers may be used to in other markets. Once money changes hands in this process, it is committed. This is precisely why steps 1 through 3 exist. We want you walking into step 4 fully prepared and fully informed and fully ready to move forward. Selecting your property is an exciting moment. It's the moment your investment becomes real. Just make sure you go in with your eyes open, your team ready, and your finances confirmed. We're here to guide you through every detail so that when you say yes to a property, it's a confident, informed yes. Now, Clayfolio presents a vacation weekend, November 6th through the 9th. I peeked a little bit on my video that I posted on Wednesday, I believe. It's a 3-day real estate event in the Dominican Republic designed to help you purchase safely, legally, and profitably without the guesswork. Excursions and education included. Y si tú hablas español, felicidades and bienvenido. So in day 1 is an education meet and greet. Start with understanding how property purchase works in the Dominican Republic, legal structures, titles, and ownership considerations, common mistakes foreign buyers make, and how to avoid them. Market insight, investment strategies, meet your real estate team and fellow attendees. And then we're going to end the evening with a relaxed meet and greet designed for real conversation, not sell pitches. Day 2, where you're going to have a guided real estate tour. You're going to see real options in real time. Visit vetted residential and investment properties. Learn how to evaluate location, pricing, and long-term value. Ask questions and reserve your property directly on site. Understand timelines, contracts, and next steps. Transportation is included, so you can focus on learning, not logistics. Day 3, curated excursions, experience the lifestyle, explore the cultural environment and day-to-day feel of the Dominican Republic. Decide if the country aligns with your lifestyle or investment goals. Connect with other attendees in a relaxed setting because buying abroad is more than numbers, it's about fit. Okay, so now step 5 is due diligence. Step 5 is where your attorney really earns their keep and is one of the most important steps in the entire process. Due diligence. Our office did complete due diligence, but remember, back in step 3, when we talked about getting your team together, this is exactly why. Because before any money beyond that reservation fee moves, your attorney needs to dig into the property and make sure everything is clean, clear, and legally sound. Our office already completed due diligence, but we recommend your attorney to do it as well. Due diligence in the Dominican Republic process is the process verifying the property's legal and financial status before you complete the purchase. Think of it as a full background check on the property. You wouldn't hire someone in your company if you didn't do a background check. And you shouldn't buy a property without verifying its legal standing either. This process has 3 key components, and I want to walk you through each one. The first is a title search and verification. Your attorney will conduct a public registry review. This is a formal search of the official government records to confirm who the legal owner of the property is and to ensure there are no outstanding claims, liens, or disputes attached to it. We are doing new constructions. So this is non-negotiable. You need to know that the person developer selling you the property actually has the legal right to sell it and that you won't inherit any hidden problems along with it. The second component is legal and regulatory compliance, specifically verifying the property's tax status. Your attorney will confirm that all property taxes have been paid up to date. If there are unpaid taxes on a property, that becomes your problem. The moment you take ownership, this check makes sure you're starting with a clean slate. And third, perhaps the most critical piece, as is the review of the sales agent agreement. the sale agreement, not agent agreement, the sale agreement. Every word of your purchase contract will be reviewed by your attorney to ensure it protects your interests as the buyer and that it fully complies with the Dominican law. This is not the time to sign something you don't fully understand. Your attorney is there to explain it. Flag anything unusual and make sure the terms are fair and legally binding in your favor. This is exactly why we say don't skip step 3, and having the right attorney in place means this step goes smoothly and you move forward with the complete confidence. Due diligence is what protects your investment, is what separates a secure purchase from a risky one. Once your attorney has completed all 3 of these checks and you reviewed and signed the sale agreement, you are ready to move into the final stages of the process. Let's keep going. Step 6 is next. Okay, step 6 is the deposit. Okay, so now, all right, so step 6, the deposit. You completed your due diligence, your attorney has reviewed everything, and you're ready to sign the contract. Now it's time to put some real skin in the game. The 20% deposit. The deposit is due at the signing of the contract and typically is 20% of the purchase price. And just like the reservation fee, I want to be upfront with you. This deposit is non-refundable. So by this point in the process, you are fully committed. This is not a maybe. This is not, let me think about it. When you sign the contract and put down your 20%, you're moving forward with the purchase. Again, this is exactly why we walk through every step before getting here. We want to be confident, informed, and ready when the moment comes. How the timeline works. Here's how the timing flows. The deposit is due 30 days after your $5,000 reservation fee was collected. Remember, that reservation fee held the property for you for 30 days. That window is your time to finalize your due diligence, get your contract reviewed, and prepare your deposit funds. When those 30 days are up, it's time to sign and put down the 20%. And keep in mind, every development has their own payment plan structure. So the exact breakdown may vary depending on which property you're purchasing. Now, here's something I want to highlight because it's real advantage with this particular developer. Typically, the full 20% deposit is due on one lump sum at contract signing. But this developer has given us the flexibility to break that deposit into 2 payments. This is not a standard. That is not something you'll find everywhere. It's significant benefit that makes the entry point more manageable, especially for buyers who are structured in their cash flow or who want to preserve liquidity while securing their property. So instead of coming up with the full 20% all at once, you have the ability to split it, giving you more breathing room as you move through the process. The deposit is the moment this purchase becomes truly official. It's an exciting milestone. And with the flexibility this developer is offering, it's more accessible than you might expect. Make sure you have your funds planned and ready within that 30-day window after your reservation. Your attorney and your team should already be in place at this stage, so this step should feel like a natural next move. Let's keep going. Step 7 is next. Step 7 is the closing. So we're going to close the deal. This is the moment everything has been building towards. You've done the work. You've followed the process. Now it's time to make it official. At closing, the remaining balance of your purchase is due. This is typically triggered one of 2 ways. Either 30 days after your deposit was made, according to your development specific payment plan. Every development structure is this slightly different, which is why it's so important to understand your payment plan from the start. Your team should have this mapped out well in advance so there are no surprises when closing day arrives. Now, I want to address something that matters a lot to buyers, especially international buyers who are wiring significant amounts of money. Our office will not collect any monies from you. Not a single dollar passes through us. All funds are wired directly either development or the brokerage. And I want you to feel confident about that because our brokerage is American owned. That means accountability, transparency, and professionalism backing this entire transaction. This is not a situation where you're sending money to an unknown entity. You know who you're working with, you know where the funds are going, and your attorney has already reviewed the agreement that governs all of it. One more thing that makes this process incredibly convenient, especially for our international buyers. The closing is done virtually. You do not need to be on the plane. You do not need to fly to Dominican Republic to sign papers. The entire closing process can be completed remotely, which means you can secure your investment from wherever you are in the world. This is a modern, streamlined process designed with the international buyer mind. Okay, the last and final step is delivery. This is what we've been waiting for. And now the moment you've been waiting for, key delivery. This is it. This is what all 7 steps have been leading to. The paperwork is done. The funds has been transferred. The deal is closed. And now it's time to hand you your keys to your very own international property. Think about what this means. You started this journey by getting your finances in order. You learned you didn't need a permit. You built your team. You selected your property. You did your due diligence. You put down your deposit and you closed the deal. And now you hold the keys, not to a dream, not to a plan, to a real physical property in the Dominican Republic that belongs to you. Our team put together a sample payment plan. So this is a sample payment plan for a condo that is $300,000. This is a complete breakdown of all payments from reservation fee through the key delivery. Step 1, reservation fee is $5,000. Once you've identified a property you like to move forward with, you will notify your office. From that point, you will have 48 hours to submit your completed reservation form and decide whether you'll be paying in full or you want to be on a payment plan. The reservation fee is $5,000. Immediately removes the unit from the market. The developer will hold your unit for 30 days while you finalize your financing and your legal preparation. This fee is applied towards your purchase price, reducing your remaining balance to $295,000. Keep in mind, the reservation fee is non-refundable. Step 2, contract signing. And first deposit is $25,000. 30 days after the reservation fee is received, you will sign your purchase contract and submit your first property. The standard deposit for this transaction is 20%. However, the developer has offered the flexibility to split the deposit into 2 separate payments. The first deposit represents 10% of the purchase price, which is $30,000. Since your $5,000 reservation fee has already been applied, the amount due at contract signing is actually $25,000. All funds are wired directly to the developer. Clayfolio does not accept or handle any monies. Now, step 3. The second deposit, which is $30,000, will be due 30 days after contract signing. The second and final deposit installment is due. This represents the remaining 10% of the 20% deposit, totaling $30,000. At this point, your combined deposit payment total is $60,000, and construction payments will begin on a quarterly schedule. So now let's get into the construction payments, which is step 4. So now $210,000, right? We're going to break that up to 24 payments because your key delivery will be done December 2028. Okay. So this is starting from January. So now we're in April. So 30 days after you paid the 10%, well, you're in April. So you paid the 10% in April, which was the last deposit. So now we're moving into the construction payments. And now you have to split the 210,000 within 24 payments. So that will equal to 8,750. The remaining 70% of the purchase price, which is 210,000, is paid throughout the construction period in quarterly installments, which is every 3 months. And this will continue until December 2028. This breaks down to 24 payments of $8,750 each, like said before. A predictable, manageable schedule that aligns with the construction timeline. So the total you paid before key delivery is $270,000. But remember, this condo is $300K. Okay. So now step 5, the final payment. Key delivery and final payment is $30,000, which will be due in December 2028. The final 10%, which is $30,000, is due at closing December 2028, the moment you receive the keys to your international property. This completes your total purchase price of $300,000. The closing is conducted virtually. You are not required to travel to the Dominican Republic to complete the transaction. Important notices: all payments are non-refundable. All monies paid through this transaction, including reservation fee, deposit, construction payments, and final payment, are strictly non-refundable. If any payments are missed, you are at risk of losing all funds previously paid. Please ensure your financing is confirmed before submitting reservation. Now, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I will be going through the frequently asked questions, and then I will look at the chat to see if anyone asked questions. Okay. So Can foreign buyers buy property in the Dominican Republic? Foreigners, this is step two when I mentioned about the whole permit stuff. So foreigners are entitled to receive the same rights as of local with the same sole exception of participating in local political activities. Foreign investors are subject to the same rules and regulations that apply to domestic counterparts. Now, question two, can the property I purchased be under my name? So, yes, the property you purchase in the Dominican Republic can be held under your name. However, if you are looking to generate rental income, it is highly recommended to hold the property under an LLC. Now, do we need to get the pre-approval in the Dominican Republic? No pre-approval is not required in the Dominican Republic as properties are purchased in cash. For those who do not have the full amount available, many developments offer payment plans. These plans typically require a payment every 30 days. If a payment is missed, the buyer risks forfeiting both the property and all funds to date. Okay. So what documents are needed as a foreigner? Okay, so to purchase property in the Dominican Republic, foreigners are required to provide a valid passport, proof of funds, and basic personal information. If you are ready to take the next step, scan the barcode and schedule your 15-minute buyer consultation. It is free, and we walk you through the entire documentation process together. Can I rent my property short term? Yes. Short term rentals and Airbnb are completely legal in the Dominican Republic, making your property a fantastic income generating opportunity. To get started, book your 15-minute buyer consultation. Okay. So now we're going to get back into my Clayfolio presenting a vacation weekend. Lastly, if you're serious about investing in the Dominican Republic, I want to personally invite you to a vacation weekend presented and hosted by Clayfolio. This is a 3-day real estate event taking place November 6th through the 9th. Right in the Dominican Republic is designed to help you purchase properties safely, legally, and profitably without guesswork. Excursions and education are included, and Spanish speakers are welcome. Early bird tickets start at just $198. You can register at drvacationweekend.eventbrite.com. This is your chance to experience the country firsthand and make your investment journey a reality. I hope to see you there. Okay. Just as purchasing a home in the United States can build wealth over time, investing in Dominican Republic real estate offers the same opportunity for long-term financial growth and stability with the added bonus of tropical lifestyle and strong rental demand. This is more than a transaction for many of our buyers. This is a life milestone, a first international investment, a vacation home, a legacy, a property for their family, or the foundation of a real estate portfolio that spans borders. Your goals are our commitment. We are honored to be a part of your journey, and we do not take lightly the trust you have placed in us to guide you through the process. This is just the beginning. The Dominican Republic is filled with incredible opportunities, and we look forward to continuing to serve you, support you, and celebrate every milestone along the way. Thank you for joining Clayfolio at our virtual open house. Scan the QR code below to schedule your complimentary 15-minute buyer consultation. We cannot wait to make your vision a reality. Your goal is our commitment. Let's dive into your journey.